28.5 left on the shot clock. So the shot clock is still
now it
turned
goes
on.
off.
Now they'll turn it off. Looks like Bridgewater State's just going to elect to dribble it out. Oh my goodness, we've got one last foul. 2 more free throws in this game. I mean,
why?
UMass Boston wasn't giving up on the possession. The bench was cheering defense. They were still invested in the game, but it's just one of those where it wasn't over-the-top contact. It wasn't extreme contact, but the referees have just, for whatever reason, decided to tighten up here in the fourth quarter as compared to how they were calling this game in the first 3.
So Archie Diasino makes it inbound to Staples. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staples pulls up. Long 2 gets swatted, and that does it. Final score here, game 1 of this doubleheader here at the Clark. Bridgewater State University 74, UMass Boston 50. All Bears from start to finish.
So we're going to take a commercial break here from Christina Ball one last time, and then we'll wrap it up here for the women's game before we bring you game 2 of our doubleheader, with the men's team taking on Suffolk.
Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
The UMass Boston Beacons baseball team, who went 23-15 this year, and have consistently been a leader in their conference without having a home field to play on. That will change next season.
I am so happy and excited to join Boston College High School and your wonderful president to celebrate this symbol of our institution's friendship as well as our shared commitment to this special neighborhood. Not only are we thrilled to be building a new ballpark with our neighboring teams and for all of our neighboring teams, but we could not be happier to provide more space. It's not just for us, Father Monin. It's for the youth of Dorchester and South Boston to be able to play as well. So your field will be used by quite a few of us for so many wonderful things.
But my hope is that the sound of the bat, that's so irresistible to us at Fenway Park, will echo through this field and will call further together the academic communities of BC High and of UMB, but especially that it will call together the youthful neighborhood communities of boys and girls who are awaiting it so eagerly.
I can't wait to put those shovels in the ground. Thank you.
It's hard not to get emotional at a UMass graduation. It is amazing to see what UMass graduates accomplish once they leave the university. You see that UMass is here for the Commonwealth, here for...
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
Mike Abelson courtside here with UMass Boston coach Christina Ball. Christina, what can you say about the second half? Did you see any improvements? What did you see in the final 20?
Not much. I think we played hard tonight for about 10 minutes, so it's not going to be good enough no matter who you play.
One thing we were talking about during the broadcast, Gianna looked very good. I think she had 13 points alone in that third quarter. What can you say about her game tonight? What role will she play come the game against UMass Dartmouth?
Yeah, you know, Gianna Williams, I think, won the tournament for us last year, She went 4 for 5 in that game, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks. So she's got to play confident, and that's with every kid out there. When she's confident, we can be really good.
Christina, thanks so much. Best of luck. Now we'll take a look at second half highlights here on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Janik with a look. De Silva open from the wing. That looks good. It is.
Bringing a big into the backcourt against the full court press.
There's Mazik with a jump shot, misses, but Gianna Williams with the rebound. Gets it to go. Janik with the ball, 5:20 to go. Quarter 3. Nice entry pass. Aguiar at the cup. Del Grasso pulls up. Ball comes back across to Del Grasso. Long 3. Easy. State not stepping off the gas. Still pressing. Still hustling. Fulton up ahead to Williams. Williams inside. That one goes. There's a 3 from the wing. Way too long. Rebound to Fitzgerald. Tries to get through Williams, and she does.
Reminder, Beacons have not done a good enough job boxing out.
Williams from 16 feet. She's up. 30 seconds left here in the quarter. About a 4-second difference between shot and game. Grassi for 3 from. Long 3 from Grassi. Misses. Rebound. Williams, no. Yet again. Yes! 8 on the shot. Williams. Jackson. Jackson. Jab steps. Drives it. Oh, that was pretty. Irritation right there by Williams, but the Bears collect. Del Grasso left-handed.
How many players looking for the pass and their teammate is looking for the exact opposite?
Oh, that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think the Beacon scored 2 early ones to cut it to 16. This is probably the most extended run. The Beacon's now 7.
And now, Arsa Diasno leaves it for Carter. Carter lays it up, gets hacked, and gets the end. 8 on the shot. Over to Fulton. Fulton pulls up, chucks it, gets it to drop. Take a look now here at final stats here from Bridgewater State's dominant 74-50 win. Seth, what's the first thing that really sticks out to you?
Well, 24 turnovers is never going to be good enough. The other aspect, a Bridgewater State team that doesn't shoot all that well, shooting 44%, holding the Beacons to 31%. I mean, there was a lot of categories, 40 to 24 in points in the paint, 29-17 in points off turnovers. The Beacons just were not good enough in any aspect tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you really could have said it better myself. All Bears from start to finish, +7 in rebounds as well. It seemed like Bridgewater State could do no wrong tonight. You know, a lot to be done for UMass Boston. You heard Coach Baugh, that post-game interview. We take a look at the individual breakdown. Aguiar with 16, Del Grasso and Fitzgerald with 15 each, and then Gian Williams with 18, and then really no secondary scorer.
No, I mean, UMass Boston got 8 from Jelani Jackson, but 4 of those came from the free throw line. Only 2 made field goals. Tajay Mazik finished with 8 as well, but she was 3 of 13 from the field. Joey Grassi only had 8 field goal attempts, finished with 5 points. Those are the players the Beacons need a much better showing from on Saturday, in addition to good work from Williams and even Maya Thompson. I think that she continued to hustle throughout a contest that would have been really easy to maybe bring down the effort with how big the Beacons were trailing by.
You know, now we can take a look at schedules.
Yeah, let's take a quick look ahead for UMass Boston.
You know, the Beacons, you know, getting into the teeth of Little East Conference play. We talk again Saturday afternoon, the big one at UMass Dartmouth. They'll be back here at the Clark in a week against Plymouth State. But you got the Dartmouth game there. You have a game at crosstown rival Emmanuel. A lot to do, a lot to fix ahead of that game against the Panthers.
Yeah, and I think that realistically, it might not show up in the results. I think you're looking at 2 really difficult games. UMass Dartmouth, just outside the top 25. Emmanuel, their head coach, Ed Yasinoff, amongst the all-time leaders at any level, D1, D2, D3 in all-time wins. So you might not see in the results, but can the Beacons play at a higher intensity? Can they play 40 minutes of consistent effort? Can they play better together? That's the big question. They lost their glue in Meg Dixon. They need to find it, and it's not easy to do, especially mid-season. Finally, let's take a look quickly at our production crew doing a great job, despite some early issues that weren't their fault in any way.
Gigi Braga on production and direction right here to our left. Thank you so much to Gigi and Mary Jo. We got Bree, Shaw, Grace, Alyssa. We got cameras spread all over here in the Clark, and we still got 40 more minutes left to go. Men's game up ahead, as you can see through the graphic. UMass Boston against Suffolk. Bit of a styles clash in that game. That should be an interesting one coming up soon.
Yeah, we'll take a brief break, close out of this broadcast. Join us on the men's video link, and then we'll be back just about 5 minutes from now for game number 2. Hello and welcome to the Clark Athletic Center for today's non-conference matchup between the visiting Suffolk University Rams, who sit at 6-5, and your UMass Boston Beacons at 6-4. Already off to a very strong start at home at 5-1 actually. Let's take a look really quickly at the team statistics for these two sides. As UMass Boston averaging just about 75 points per game, a very good rebounding team. One of the areas where they've excelled this season. Suffolk on the other side, a little bit better scoring offense and scoring defense. Haven't rebounded nearly as well, but they're very good with the ball, just 11.5 turnovers per contest. Take a look at some of the team leaders. Suffolk has a couple players averaging over 10 points per game, including the combination of Thomas Duffy and Brendan Molson. Alex Jacovides is the team's top shooter, shooting almost 60% from both the field and from behind the three-point line. The Beacons are without their top scorer today, Javaris Hill, unavailable to play, dealing with an injury. So they are sitting him ahead of their conference contest against UMass Dartmouth on Saturday. Not sure if he'll be able to go. Alex Sanchez, the team's top three-point shooter. They've struggled from the line, shooting under 30%. And Michael Boyd, the reigning Little East Conference Rookie of the Year, paces the Beacons with 3 assists per contest. Right now we'll take a look at the all-time series between these two Boston rivals, separated by just about 5 stops on the red line. The Beacons lead the all-time series 20-9, including 9 wins in their last 10 meetings. The Beacons falling just a little bit short a season ago, 79-69 at Suffolk. 5 of the all-time contests have gone to overtime, and the Beacons have had a lot of success here at home, have not lost a home contest against the Rams since 2008. Let's take a look at our matchup to watch for these two sides. It's Alex Sanchez for the Beacons and Thomas Duffy for the Rams. Now, these two guys might not meet one-on-one, with Sanchez significantly smaller than Duffy, but they're two guys who make their offenses go, with Duffy the leading scorer for Suffolk and Sanchez not only a very good scorer, but also one of the Beacons' lead facilitators. Welcomed in by Michael Abelson, our play-by-play guy. Seth Orensky doing some color. And this is a fun one, Mike. You have two teams that literally could not be separated by much less distance here in Boston, just the 5 tee stops, and both teams looking to get some good mojo going into 2019 after a back-and-forth 2018 that saw both teams settling right around 500.
Just as importantly, it's a styles clash. This UMass Boston team, they like to slow it down. They like to really, I'm not going to say drag games out, but this is the type of team that is, they play a lot in the 60s. Suffolk, they're averaging, almost 80 points a game. So you could get an interesting game. Maybe if this thing starts going up and down, we'll get some points. But 40 minutes of action on the clock. I'm Mike Abelson and Seth Orensky. We got a whole team of talent all over the gym. We'll get you their names as the day goes on. And our first foul of the game comes 9 seconds into the game, as it looks like Monroe picked up on a moving screen.
Yeah, Mark Monroe was in a lot of foul trouble with the Beacons last time out against Wentworth when he was facing off against a really talented big. That time trying to give the ball screen for Michael Boyd and just moved a little bit early. That's something the Beacons can ill afford with Javaris Hill out for tonight's game. Beacons really only run 2 players at the 5 between Lorquette and Mark Monroe in their regular rotation.
There's a weird pass inside. Oh, and a swat right there. Sinelli not having any of that nonsense.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Sinelli, who initially was out of position to get back and able to knock that one away.
Monroe, one hand, can't get it to go, but a body contact foul on DePrizio, the junior from Medford, Massachusetts. My current residence, just about 8 miles up the road.
And DePrizio's got pretty good size, especially Division III, 6'6", 205. The issue is Monroe at 6'6", 230, and a little bit longer as well. Was able to bully himself into a good spot, and that hook shot almost went down.
Can't make that first free throw, so we still sit scoreless. A nice crowd is turned up here on a chilly Thursday night. It is cold out there walking through campus. Second one, like butter for Monroe. From Quincy, Mass, a transfer from Massasoit Community. George Gerlakis on the ball. Over to Molson, back to Gerlakis. He's going to drive it, float it, miss it. Rebound to Mitchell. That's Charlie Mitchell. Look out for three in white. Can't get it to fall, though. Rebound to Duffy.
Yeah, you'd like to see a little bit better execution there on the 2-on-1. Mitchell went hard the entire way, but a little bit difficult for the smaller player with two bigs able to get back and utilize your big there. Jason Sinelli was running hard, and then Suffolk nearly gives it back.
10 on the shot clock. Duffy on the ball. The 6'3 junior from Fairfield, Connecticut. Pulls up from 19 feet off the rim. Not a good look, not a good possession. But here comes Michael Boyd and the Beacons the other way.
Yeah, I think the Beacons have done a nice job defensively these first couple of possessions, forcing Suffolk into some poor shots. Suffolk also, though, settling, especially in that last possession.
Boyd steps back. Nice shot. Can't get it to drop, though. But a good look for Michael Boyd. Rams pushing it. Here comes Gralakis up under and count the two. First basket of the game for the Rams. 2-1 lead for Suffolk.
Nice take there by Gralakis. Got the step on Boyd and then used the basket. It's a little bit of rim protection from Boyd to get Suffolk onto the board and into the lead.
Mitchell draws the double, kicks it back out to Sanchez. Boyd draws Gralakis. Boyd leaves it for Sanchez. 7 on the shot. They got to do something. Sanchez, what the heck is that? It was almost like an up and under and a floater at the same time. Gralakis flings it across to Duffy. Duffy over, look out on the block, and he gets it on the second look. What a shot fake. Dason Sinelli, his head was at the rim right there.
Yeah, and immediately Jason Harris sends Malik Lorquette to the scorer's table. Did not like that miscommunication. The Beacons left Duffy wide open on the near block on the drive.
Sanchez back to Boyd. Doesn't left on the shot clock. Boyd looking for some room. Gets it across to Sinelli, lays it up and in over Brendan Molson.
Jason had a bit of a rough first half, going from being a starter playing 25, 30 minutes a game to taking a little bit more of a reserve role, but he's come out with a ton of energy to start this contest.
There's a three from Duffy. There's going to be a foul, a shooting foul on Sinelli.
That's that new focus at all levels of not allowing the shooter to land. You have to give the shooter the space, and Sinelli made contact after the ball was almost to the rim, but closed out with his back to the shooter, and he definitely got in there right where the feet were landing, and that's a really bad foul because not only did you not really influence the shot, but you give up the 3 free throws.
Didn't get much easier there on the first shot by Duffy. 2 more. A couple changes coming on here for the Beacons after this next shot.
Suffolk not a great free throw shooting team at 68.5%, 7th in the GNAC, but almost a full 15% better than UMass Boston, who has struggled mightily from the free throw line. And we'll see Charles Mitchell check on for Charlie, and Malik Lorquette replace Mark Monroe as the Beacons bring in one of their better scorers in Charles Mitchell and one of their really exciting young bigs.
Lorquette from Sharon, Mass. Played at Sharon High. One of the better basketball programs south of Boston. Here's Sanchez over to Mitchell. Mitchell gets the ball left for him. UMass Boston cannot penetrate inside. 10 on the shot clock. Wonderful defensive possession for the Rams. Boyd goes to drive. Oh, he gets a step and he gets the lay-in. Nice hesitation there by Michael Boyd. 7-5 Rams.
Nice play there by Boyd, and Boyd is getting the benefit of some of these calls. He's extending that lead arm to get a little bit of extra space before shooting, but the referees haven't called it. So he's going to keep going at the Rams and using that to his advantage.
And there's Gralakis going at the Beacons for a basket. George Gralakis, the junior from Lowell, played his high school ball at Central Catholic, an elite high school program here in the state. Definitely has been playing high-level basketball for a long time. Michael Boyd over to Lorquette. Step back for Boyd. Oh, he made that look easy, and that was not an easy shot. 9-7 Suffolk. Michael Boyd doing it all right now for the home team. And right now he's marking our player of the game, pregame, Tom Duffy.
Yeah, well, this is the problem. If
Larquette gets in there. You were saying Larquette, a good young big, and he gets picked up on a bit of a soft foul there. But Larquette not afraid to stick his hand in there against DiPrizio, a much bigger, more experienced player.
Well, Larquette nearly had the turnover, but he just couldn't quite control it. And then this is what I hate about refereeing, inconsistency. You've got a lot of banging, both players throwing the bodies there, and then just a little bit of contact, and that's enough for the foul and the block. I'd love to just let the bigs really battle it there. As long as there's no elbows, nothing crazy, just let them play.
15:02 to go here in the first half. You're watching the Beacons Basketball Network. We'll be back on the other side with more hoops after this.
Psychology is about understanding the individual and understanding the mind. The main reason why I want to combine psychology and business degrees is because I want to understand the business decisions that are made. I'm Nurçin Çelebi. I'm from Turkey originally. I'm a senior at the 5-year BA to MBA program at UMass Boston. I think in management, the biggest mistake you can make is to not listen. So I want to be able to step into a company and say, here's what you're doing now, and here's how you can improve it. I moved here when I was 16 for high school. Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well, and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me. I wanted to be able to improve myself. I wanted to be able to try new things, and I think UMass gave me a really good head start on that.
Welcome back inside the Clark Athletic Center. We're ready to rock it. We're ready to roll it. Baseline out for the Beacons. Gralakis leaves it for DiPrizio. There's a nice move at the hoop by Duffy. 4-point lead, biggest lead of the game for the Rams, but still, this has been close all throughout.
Yeah, it's been a fun game thus far, and that was a really nice cut from Duffy on the back door, just beating Boyd to the spot.
Boyd looking for some space on Gralakis. Ooh, bad pass, but Mitchell bails him out. 7 on the shot clock. Beacon's got to do something. Mitchell draws DiPrizio, flings it up. Larquette underneath the freshman. Looking strong right there onto the Cub with the putback.
Well, that's the benefit. I mean, in the women's game, we saw UMass Boston turn it over so many times, a couple of shot clock violations. If you're Charlie Mitchell or Charles Mitchell that time, if you can just get that ball to the rim, extend the possession, give your bigs a chance, good things can happen. And that was a great job by Larquette, beating 2 Rams to the spot and then able to score off the offensive rebound.
Duffy with the ball in his hand. Here's a long 3. That's going to be short. Rebound to Sinelli. So UMass here with a chance to tie or lead. Sinelli thought about it on Molson. Leaves it for Boyd. Boyd thought about it. Hajopian lays it up. Ball smacked around. Gralakis with the rebound. Rams looking to push. He gets around Boyd. Takes a breather. He's going to try to spin it back. Draws the double. And then slows it down. 10 seconds melting away from that possession as the Rams looking to do a whole lot. Duffy loses it to Sinelli. Sinelli going 1-on-3 over to Mitchell. Yes! Mitchell up and under. The Beacons get this game back even. We start fresh 7 minutes in.
Great vision from Dason Sinelli, recognizing that Mitchell, the trailer, was going to beat his man to the spot, and a perfect pass, threading the needle with the bounce pass.
Ball over to Molson. Molson can get a pick. He drives the other way. Gets past Larquette. He doesn't get over Larquette. Freshman swats that away. Now Molson will sit. Charles Mitchell back in, replaces his brother. Got a few subs. We'll get all the names in. It's like Connor Byrne, one of the freshman twins on Suffolk from Melrose, checks in the game. He's wearing number 42. And Alex Jacovides, the sophomore from Tampa, in as well. Long shot from Duffy. They lost the shot clock. Here comes Sinelli. He's going to take it himself. Oh, what a Euro step there. Leaves Duffy in the dust. And a timeout, full timeout on the floor, called by the Rams as the Beacons really making them look silly right now.
Well, it's been the Dason Sinelli and Michael Boyd show. Sinelli back-to-back possessions out in transition. The first one, a great bounce pass to Charles Mitchell. That time he had Alex Sanchez with the defender back, took it himself, a really nice finish. And this is what the Beacons want out of Dason Sinelli. It's a unique situation for Dason. He's the only 3-year player on UMass Boston. They have a couple of juniors, a couple of seniors, but the only guy who's been with Jason Harrison's staff for the last 3 years. They need him to be a leader. They need him to be a guy who's going to sort of be the leader on the floor for everyone else, telling them where they're going. And this is more of what we saw his freshman-sophomore year than we saw in the first half of this season.
I'll say one thing, going back to the women's game that was here earlier tonight, Bridgewater State beating the Beacons 74-50. The Bridgewater State always finding opportunities to get in and mess things up, and you're seeing that with these guards for the Beacons right now, getting in, getting the ball, quickly spinning it the other way.
Well, you talked about being a battle of two teams with disparate styles. You're also looking at two teams that are made up very differently. The Beacons are not afraid of their lack of size. I mean, you have Charlie Mitchell, Alex Sanchez. They're playing 2 or 3 guys who are well under 6 feet, giving up a ton of size at almost every position with the center role today with Lorquette and Monroe, but they're doing such a good job of badgering the Rams, of not giving them good looks, that Suffolk hasn't been able to push the pace the way they like to do.
Well, that's how you win games when you don't have size. That's how you win games. This is a 3, and Jacovides, halfway in, halfway out. Not going to do it. Mitchell up to Sanchez. Sanchez leaves it for Sinelli. No, Lorquette's in there. Everyone's in there. Lorquette, no, out of bounds, stays here.
Malik Lorquette had 4 navy blue shirts in around him and somehow kept it going, those long arms. That's a great hustle play by Lorquette. Won't show up in the box score, but that team rebound should belong to Malik Lorquette.
Mitchell drives it, draws 3, kicks it out to Boyd. Log looks good. It is. 3 points. That is 7 in a row for the Beacons. They're up 5 now.
A lot of unselfish play. A great look from Charlie Mitchell to find Boyd in rhythm from the near wing. This Beacons team, a little bit of good offense becomes contagious, and right now they're being extremely unselfish.
There's a swat by Lorquette. No shot, though. Foul on the floor.
I think they're going to get Sanchez for the reach-in before it ever got to Malik Lorquette.
Gets Malik Lorquette, and that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. So with 11:40 to go here in the first half, Beacons on a 7-0 run and having a lot of fun doing it. 16-11, UMass Boston. You're watching the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Welcome back, friendly friends, inside the Clark Athletic Center. We get going quick. Jacovides, real quick from the corner. Big 3 for the Rams. They need that in a big way. Breaking a 7-0 run for UMass Boston.
And in the scout, the one thing you can't do is give Alex Jacovides an open 3. He's shooting just under 60%. That's a great play by Suffolk, Jeff Juron and his staff, to immediately get a good look out of the timeout and immediately execute.
And coming the other way, Lorquette draws the foul on Byrne, getting to the inside, getting fouls on the bigs. This is a team with size, 3 guys north of 6 feet tall, also all freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, UMass Boston, without Javaris Hill today, he's typically one of their best post players, their leading scorer, their leading player in rebounds and field goal percentage. So without him, they're going to rely more on Lorquette. And today we're going to see Julius Goins in a little bit earlier than he typically gets in. as the very long and tall freshman gets some big minutes.
Julius Goins just checking in. Played at Worcester North. There's a foul on the floor.
I think they're going to get Charles Mitchell for a little bit of a reach in there as he tried to get around the offensive player and go the other way. Hagopian did a nice job of boxing him out.
17-14 Beacons, 11-14 to go. 23 on the shot. Gralakis gets that ball into Gemma. That was Hagopian trying to lower the shoulder. Leaves it for Byrne. 12 on the shot. Here's Gemma, gets some space, draws the double, kicks it back out. Jacovides can't do that. They get out of it there, but Gralakis with the offensive board. Goes up and under on Lorquette. No, Goins, Lorquette gets it. Pushes it up to Sanchez. Sanchez, he wants the 2. He gets it. Goes right over Gemma with the inside hand, no less. Beacons pushing it hard, pushing it early. Back up 5. It's about to get halfway through the first half.
Well, the Beacons like the pace in this game because in the half court it's pretty slow. They're not giving Suffolk a lot of extra shots, a lot of three-point looks. But on offense, if they can push, they're going to absolutely try to.
Look at that. 2 guys go up, but they get bailed out by a traveling call on Byrne. And Byrne will sit. Molson returns, and Kevin Querusio steps in. The senior from Millis comes on for the Rams.
And that was a big call because they likely would have gotten Lorquette. It would have been his second, and he would have had to head to the bench.
Sanchez inside, misses the bunny, gets the rebound. Goins with the rebound. Yes! It feels like there's 9 of them out there wearing white jerseys. They come from all these angles. They're dropping from the ceiling like Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. Gee, good Lord.
There's just a lot of energy with this group. Coach Harris was really asking more out of them earlier on in the year.
Right there, here comes Lorquette throwing it down. Having fun out there. This Beacons team putting on a show, up 23-14.
Well, they were beaten pretty badly on their home floor by Emmanuel the Tuesday before break. Came back and beat Wentworth with a much better showing, but I think this team has practiced pretty well heading into this second semester, and also they're all kind of bought in on the idea that they needed to work a little bit harder.
3 from Mitchell! It's a 12-point game. Timeout by the Rams. The Beacons doing everything right in the early going. Huge three-pointer there from Charles Mitchell. It's now a 12-point spread.
And this is a 30-second timeout by the Rams, so they have to stay up. But, I mean, this has just been phenomenal. Remember, Suffolk had a 4-point lead before this big run, so UMass Boston has outscored them by well over a dozen at this point. 16 points during this little run, and it's been fun to watch because it's not one guy. Dave Cincinnati was great. Then it was Michael Boyd. Then it was Alex Sanchez, Julius Goins, Malik Lorquette.
Yeah.
You can't key in on one player, especially on the offensive end, because the Beacons have been doing a lot of their damage in transition or on the fast break. I mean, UMass Boston has gotten a lot of good looks, and they're attacking the basket despite being the smaller side.
You know, this team reminds me of my alma mater, Rhode Island's team last year. Won the A-10, second round of the tournament, playing at that high level. They would sometimes run a 6'4" center because they would just pester you, they would badger you, they would make your life absolutely miserable out there, and they would turn down the transition buckets. I'm seeing a lot of that here with the Beacons. They get hands in passing lanes, they block, they defend. It's been a lot of fun here early. 9 minutes left here in the first half. Suffolk has to find some way to slow this down and convert their opportunities. As Hagopian gets into Molson, not what you should do. Ball up to Mitchell, leaves it for his brother, Charles Mitchell. Misses it short, rebound to Molson. And that would have sent the bench right into the roof, right there.
Yeah, the Beacons doing the Golden State Warriors effect of going for the 3 in transition rather than trying to get a layup, as there's a good offensive rebound.
Oh, and a huge swat by Monroe. Not having any of that from DiPrizio. Sanchez across to Mitchell inside to Goins. Goins gets to the cup. No, can't get the rebound. Charlie Mitchell gets it. That could be a flagrant right there.
I don't know if they'll do that because I think it was more inadvertent than anything else. But, again, that's just a hustle play. Goins may be fortunate not to get called for reaching as he tapped it, and then Charlie Mitchell fouled it. Going off of your point, Mike, about this Beacons and their style, big part of that starts with the head coach, Jason Harris, in his time at Rhode Island College. He's not that big. He's a 6'4", 6'5" guy, but he played in the post. He played the 4, played the 5, and they take that same mentality of maybe being a little bit smaller than opponents, but being gritty, outworking, out-hustling. And this team has been really fun to watch when they're on this year.
He played under Bob Walsh, now the head coach at Maine, who did some fantastic things down at Rick. Here's Sanchez, puts up the bunny, gets it to drop. That's the thing. You have all these spectacular plays. It's all for naught, though. If you're not making those little 2-footers, those little 3-footers on the inside, those are the baskets that win and lose you games. And now on the other side, Sanchez having to pick up Hagopian as Suffolk spinning it around. 15 seconds left here on the shot. Gralakis draws the double. Oh, bad pass. Good steal by Sanchez. He's pushing it quickly. Head up over to Mitchell. Mitchell with the shot fake onto Prizio. Ducks under. Sanchez to Boy! Couldn't get that one to go. That would have been a huge one. But rebound to Gralakis. Over to Duffy. Got to think the Rams. The Rams got to do something. Duffy gets inside, and he gets one to drop. Big basket there for the Rams. Keep that deficit at 12. But they can't defend on the other side. Oh, they defend right there. Hagopian had proven me wrong in a big way. I should shut my mouth next time. You know what? I'll have a quick minute to shut my mouth because we got a timeout on the floor. 7:19 to go here at the Clark. Beacons lead the Rams 28-16. This is the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Take a look at the highlights. There's the Malik Lorquette dunk, all made by Lorquette, initially forcing the steal, and then the Mitchell 3 in transition.
Yeah, this was huge right here. Mitchell spotting up on Molson, going right over the much bigger man. That's Brendan Molson listed at 6'4", and Charles Mitchell just at 5'10", but he spots up. Doesn't matter, they have a half-foot height difference. He's going right over the top, and that's been the story here for the Beacons. I mean, this is a fun basketball team. This is not, a half-court run their set team. I mean, they have done well in the half-court, but when they push it, they're pushing it well. Right now, though, they are in the half-court as Mitchell loses it to Gralakis. He's going to eventually get this off to Duffy, I think. No, he's going to take it all the way. Oh! Mitchell changes his body direction midair. Oh, they're going to tee him up. They're going to tee up Charles Mitchell for some unknown reason.
Well, clearly Charles Mitchell said something.
Yes, Charles Mitchell made the cardinal sin of showing emotion playing in an athletic event. So he will be...
So we'll take a look at the replay because either way, the technical foul doesn't influence the amazing play before it. And he's down on the floor, so it's difficult to say who possibly he was talking to. It must have been the referee because there wasn't a Suffolk player within 5 or 10 feet.
No, and there was no dirty play. There wasn't, a real incident there.
The only thing I can think is that Mitchell felt that he was fouled in forcing the turnover and giving the ball up.
So Mitchell will sit. Free throws to the Rams, but it'll be Beacon ball on the sideline. But still now, this is the type of possession here where something, this is a type of possession here where you can get, into a real interesting situation. Now the lead's down to 10. It's much more different mentally when you're the trailing team to be down singles versus doubles. So a big possession here for the Beacons. Sanchez to Sinelli, trying to keep it expanded back to 12. That was a poor shot attempt. Sinelli looking like he may have gone poked in the eyes. He comes back up the court. But a great opportunity here as he went under 7 to go. Duffy crisscrosses, pushes it out to Hagopian. Yes, huge triple. That'll be a timeout by Harris on the sideline. He's going to take a 30. Still a bit miffed, very miffed really at that technical call on Mitchell. But it'll be a 30-second timeout on the floor as Suffolk very quickly gets it back to 7.
Well, a nice 5-0 run. You've got the 2 made free throws out to the technical. And then that's the situation where I hate that pass from Duffy. You have a clear lane to the basket. If you just turn your body, you got a right-handed layup. Finds Hagopian for the 3. That's only a high percentage shot, in my opinion, if you hit it. And in today's day and age, a lot of coaches are okay with that. And Hagopian did knock it down, so it proves to be a good shot. But I was away from the play. Head coach Jason Harris went down. He talked to Charles Mitchell. He said, what happened? What did you say? And then wasn't privy to that conversation, but Jason Harris yells across the floor at the referee who teed up Mitchell and said, that's not what he said. So I like the fact that Harris is defending his player, but also wanted to make sure, just as a sophomore with Mitchell, you don't want your team to be gaining a reputation for saying stuff or for being a little bit dirty. Beacon's team had everything going before that technical.
And Mitchell misses that one, ball out of bounds. The way that games change, tide turning to the team in Navy.
Typically you see it the opposite way. A coach gets teed up trying to defend their team, protect their team, trying to instigate, and it keys their team. This time it's actually been the Beacons getting a technical that's really led to Suffolk getting going.
Long 3, Hagopian from the NBA line gets this game down to 4. As the Beacons now playing much slower, playing much more at Suffolk's speed. Mitchell tried drawing a foul. Boyd with it. Boyd drives, one-hand floater. No. Monroe inside, lays it up and in over Molson and Duffy. Gets it back out to half a dozen, but here comes Gerlakis in transition. Draws a double in the corner. Skips it across. That was a bad skip pass, but it got over to Duffy. Over the hand of Boyd. DePrizio trying to set a pick for Boyd. He does. Ball over to Hagopian. Hagopian steps up. Long 2. No. Gerlakis got a hand in Mitchell's face. No whistle there.
Yeah, there's a missed call, and now you have Juron who's just walking him out to half court, basically on the emblem no call. And a couple of interesting no calls or calls by these referees.
DePrizio bumps off Monroe, gets the basket, gets it down to 4 with 5 minutes left. That under 4 timeout will be a big one for the Beacons coming up in a few seconds, as they definitely could use a minute. And a moving screen, I think that's on Sanchez. So it'll be almost a whole line change here as Goins steps back on and Mitchell returns after the technical.
They're also going to bring on Lorquette to replace Monroe. Lorquette provided a lot of good energy.
So, first time we've seen this 5. Both Mitchell brothers, Boyd, Lorquette, and Goins for the Beacons. 20 on the shot, 4:35 left. Ooh, Duffy gets space and hits the 3 over Michael Boyd.
That's a really difficult assignment for Boyd, and he's done a decent job, but just overplayed the dribble, and Duffy was able to pull up and knock down a contested 3.
Goins almost slides the foot. Beacons have to reset. 15 on the shot. Boyd with it. Oh, almost got the pick and roll from Lorquette. Lorquette left a little early. Entry pass. Nice entry to Lorquette. Kicks it across to Boyd. Shot fake. Gets in. Oh, you got to call that. You got to call that bank shot. I didn't quite hear that up here.
Michael Boyd is one of the few players in today's day and age who's better from that mid-range, that long 2, than he is from 3. That's really where he feasts. And that was a really nice take, even though I'm not sure he meant to use the glass.
So Gerlakis with the ball now, 15 on the shot. Gets it poked away, but they're going to say it stays with the Rams. And that'll take us to our final timeout on the floor here in half number 1. 3:41 to go. The drama's building. Beacons 32, Rams 29. We'll be back. Beacons Broadcast Network. Welcome back inside the Clark Athletic Center. One more segment remains here in half number 1. It has been exciting. There's a 3. We're tied. Took a while to go down, but Jacovides, his second triple of the game. You know, the Rams feasting on that 3. Big possession here now for the Beacons. Lorquette trying to get past DePrizio. These are for Goins. Oh, it doesn't drop. Halfway in, bounces out. 3:15 left in the first half, and now it's Duffy on the ball. As these Rams, they're feeling it. Duffy draws almost a triple out to Jacovides. Kicks it over to Duffy. 15 on the shot. Ball over to Molson. Molson, the Suffolk coach, almost at the midline right there. Gralakis to Molson. Molson long 2. No. Lorquette with the rebound. 2:45 to go, and here comes Mitchell over to his brother. Mitchell tries to drive on Molson. Slips before he can release the ball. You know, that's a problem when you're 5'10", driving on 6'4". But right now it's Duffy with possession. Mitchell comes out to meet him. Mitchell pokes it away, but DePrizio picks it up. Leaves it for Gralakis. No! And there's a foul right there as he basically gives Lorquette a hug.
Yeah, Gralakis was really frustrated. He couldn't get it to go. Boyd was actually trying to give the foul on Molson, recognizing that he didn't have the position. It's going to be an easy 2. Instead, gives it up for Gralakis, and the Beacons fortunate. The big difference between when the Beacons were up by 12 in the last couple of possessions, outside of Suffolk heating up and hitting the 3s, is the Beacons haven't been able to get easy looks. They haven't been able to get out in transition, and they're taking contested shots. Need to get 1 or 2 of those to fall. That look for Goins was great. He just couldn't quite get the roll.
Sinelli gets around Gralakis, drives on 4 men, kisses it off the side of the board. 2 minutes to go here in the first half as Gralakis bounces it across. Molson, look from the wing, no. Gets his rebound, but slaps it to Mitchell. Here come the Beacons in transition. Mitchell out to Lorquette. Lorquette, spin-a-rooney! Can't get it to drop. Goes to Gralakis on the rebound. Gralakis swings up to Molson. Molson almost got it poked away by Mitchell. Here's Duffy, drives baseline, spins back. Gralakis, Molson. Duffy loses it, kicks it inside to Byrne. Look at that. Nice and easy.
Well, it's just a matter of time. Suffolk had UMass Boston chasing that entire possession. Beacons were hoping for the steal. Instead, a really nice job of being patient by Suffolk. And all of a sudden, after being down 12, they have the lead.
Sinelli, Boyd. Boyd gets Gralakis on the up fake, floats with the left, misses it, gets his rebound, tries it again. Twice as nice. There's a man with 2 2s on his back.
Yeah, Boyd is one of those guys who it doesn't matter who's guarding him. He's going to be able to get off a decent look. And that was a great job following his shot. The defender went down at his feet, grabbed the rebound, and then able to put it over the taller defender. Boyd has been really good for UMass Boston, especially when that shot clock is ticking down.
Gralakis into the foot of Lorquette. That'll be a kickball. I believe the shot will reset to 20.
Now they're going to push 15 and now 20, yep. So either way, the Beacons will get the ball back, but it gives Suffolk a little bit more time to try to probe this defense.
And they've been doing that with ball movement. Byrne, Duffy, draws Boyd. Duffy on the ball, gets a pick to his right. He's got no help side, gets the ball poked away. That was a good acting job, but there was no whistle there.
Yeah, Boyd poked it away. The ball was out of bounds, and Duffy just continued his run. I don't know if there was any contact with Lorquette, but he sold it pretty well.
Oscars in 2 months.
Still looking for a host.
You available?
I don't know, but Duffy might be.
Well, we got 16 on the clock. Mitchell is going to hold it for the last shot as we wind under 10. Mitchell over to his brother. So that's Charles with the ball. Charles spins up Duffy. Oh, he picked up the dribble. Sinelli, I don't think it would have counted either way. But after 20 minutes, we're right where we started. We are squared up at 34. We got a 20-minute game ahead of us. That's good theater. It's good television.
Yeah, Jason Harris, we're going to hear from him in a second. I don't think he's going to be too happy. That technical foul, one way or another, we still have no idea what Charles Mitchell said, clearly influenced the flow of this game. UMass Boston had everything going their way. So we'll hear from Jason Harris on what he thinks his team needs to do after this commercial break.
I'm Elizabeth Clavin, sophomore business management major from Edina, Minnesota. I love being a part of this volleyball team. Volleyball is what brought me to UMass Boston. I looked at our recruiting website one last time and saw UMass Boston on it, came out for a visit the next week, and it kind of hit all the boxes that I was looking for. In a good city, good academic school, good volleyball program, it had everything I wanted. Although it was far away from home, I knew this is where I wanted to be. Winning 6 back-to-back LEC titles is really a dynasty, I think, and Terry has really focused hard on recruiting and building this dynasty and continuing to build a program that can continue to win championships, and it's really lucky to be a part of something this great. Last year I was the Little East Conference Defensive Player of the Year, All-Conference second team, NCAA Regional MVP of the regional tournament, ABC All-Region Honorable Mention, and New England Women's Volleyball Association All-Rookie Team and Honorable Mention. I think my favorite game would have to be playing in the regional championship last year. We played against a really good Williams team, and I think that match, we started off a little shaky and lost the first set. We've lost in the whole playoff season, and I think that kind of shook us a little bit. We came back firing, and we're ready to go those next couple games. Our coaches are bringing in a lot of really strong girls who want to make a commitment and make an impact in this program, and I think that is why we're continuing to do well and will continue to do well for the next few years. Being a student here has been really awesome as well. I've recently started taking more of my business classes and found that it's a good choice and a good fit for me. And eventually I hope to open my own business and kind of be successful and do what I love at the end of the day.
Mike Abelson courtside here with UMass Boston coach Jason Harris. And Jason, what do you take away from this first half? The first 12 minutes or the final 8 minutes?
First 12 minutes, when we got the lead, I think it was up to 16. I thought we were, it all came from our defense. I thought we were locked in, created some easy points for us in transition. Thought we had a couple tough calls, couple tough possessions offensively, and then we kind of let that lack of focus kind of carry over. And then we got back to being stagnant, and not setting good screens and just pounding the ball and a ton of ball screens. So.
It looked like, in transition, this team is so exciting. They score so many buckets. And then Suffolk starts hitting threes and slowing the game down. How do you turn that tide? Because it seems like once you get stuck in that mud, it's very hard to get out of it.
So what happens is they do a good job. They hit you with some back doors and really loosen that perimeter pressure up, right? And they do that a few times, and now you start looking for that slip, and they fake the slip, and they go over the screen. A couple of those are breakdowns. The 2 on the baseline out of bounds, that's unacceptable. That's 2 of their 5. Then they hit a step back 3, so that's 3. Then we had 2 other breakdowns. It's not rocket science. It's rocket science, man. We just got to do a better job second half.
Hey, thanks so much, Jason. Best of luck in the final 20. Back up to you with highlights and a whole lot more.
What you wanna do, baby? Where you wanna go? I'll take you to the moon, baby. I'll take you to the floor. I treat you like a real lady, no matter where you go. Just give me some time, baby. Cause even when we're apart, I know my heart is still there with you. 5 more hours down the night is yours and I'm back with you. This right here is my type of party. 5 more hours, we're just getting started. This right here is my type of party. 5 more hours, we're just getting started. 5 more hours, we're just getting started. How you wanna feel, baby? What you wanna know? Just pour another drink, baby. Come on, pour a little more. I treat you like a real lady. I keep you at the cold. I give you all my time, baby. You know, even when we're apart, I know my heart is still big with you. 5 more hours till the night is ours, and I'm back with you. This is, yeah, this right here is my type of party. Yeah, 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 yeah. 5 more hours, we're just getting started. This right here is my type of party. Oh, this is my type of party. 5 more hours, we're just getting started.
It is halftime here at the Clark. We got some stats, we got some points, we got some information to send your way. We'll look at some team stats here from a really entertaining, compelling first half between these two city rivals, UMass Boston and Suffolk. And you look very similar in a lot of ways. What stands out to you, Seth?
Well, I think for UMass Boston, the fact that they're out-rebounding the much larger team, despite not having Javaris Hill, is a positive because Hill is their leading rebounder. It's really long. Also no Kevin Nunez today, which is didn't get information on him, but that would be another loss because Nunez has been one of their high-energy, good rebounder, good defenders. The positive for the Beacons is just the 3 turnovers and 5 turnovers against the Suffolk team that gives it up just 11 times a game. The negative is the 3 assists. And then you look at the extracurricular stuff. The fact that the Beacons are 11-0 in fast break points is huge because clearly that's where they're best at, and they haven't given Suffolk any opportunities as well. So UMass Boston's doing well in that area. The issue is that Suffolk's 5 of 12 from distance, and the Beacons have just too many threes. So that was a big reason why the Beacons' lead went from as large as 14 to 0 at the half.
You know, Suffolk only 7 of 19 inside the arc. You know, if you can, you know, as Jason Harris said in that first at that halftime interview, you know, that given that cutting them up with back doors, softening that perimeter defense. If you can find some way to lock up, you know, the backside, you can press out some more because Suffolk's having a lot of trouble inside.
They might actually be shooting better from 3 than from layups. Literally, the shots within 4 feet. They've missed a couple of bunnies. Which has probably been a little disconcerting for Jeff Juron because it's one thing to be a great three-point shooting team, but you need to be able to convert when you get those looks down low. Let's take a look at the team leaders right now. We're going to see some of the players who have excelled. Not a surprise for Suffolk that it's been Thomas Duffy leading them. And for UMass Boston, not a big surprise that it's Michael Boyd, who a season ago was their second leading scorer and really carried UMass Boston when they were getting stuck in the mud, as you pointed out. In that half-court offense.
And Charles Mitchell and Malik Lorquette each with 5. You know, Boyd 11 and 3 in that first half. It seemed like he was around so much more. You know, he may not be credited with, you know, steals, but he was just in the weeds so much defensively, doing, you know, a whole lot of everything for the Beacons.
And for UMass Boston, 8 offensive rebounds, but no player with more than 1. So that shows that it's been a total team effort. They've been able to really work hard on the offensive glass. It's a lot of teams underestimate the Beacons on the glass because they see the heights and they're saying, oh, well, that other team just didn't work hard. This Beacons team needs to outwork opponents to be successful, especially on the glass, and they've been doing that tonight.
I will say one thing, you know, I distinctly remember at one point the score of this game was 26-14. UMass Boston, you know, based off that number, you know, it's a 20-8 run to close out the half to get it tied. You know, the Beacons have to find some way to stem that tide, or else this is going to turn into a run out in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 2 big runs, really. It was Suffolk up by 4 in the early going, and then the Beacons went on a run. Don't have the exact numbers, but it
got up by 14.
Yeah, it got up by 14. So there's an 18-point swing, and now you have Suffolk coming back from the big deficit. So it's going to be interesting to see if either team can kind of wrestle, control, and dictate the pace here early on. Let's take a look right now at the highlights from that first half. We've got quite a few of them for you here on the Beacons Broadcast Network, especially during that Beacons run. It was one highlight reel play after another. as UMass Boston was turning defense into offense.
Yeah, it was playing like a video game. As we take a look here, we start with that nice swat by Sinelli, and you see how they press so much going the other way. Here's coming in, nice up and under by Gralakis. But again, early on, the players like Boyd going right by DePrizio, laying it up with the left hand, looking pretty. And, again, a steal, Sinelli, full speed, Mitchell underneath getting it to go. That was the name of the game. And then Sinelli himself with that beautiful Euro to take it to the cup. The Beacons could really do no wrong. There was a nice three by Hagopian, who did a lot to keep this team in it, but this was the big highlight. Malik Lorquette leaving his mark on the opening 20 minutes. And then Mitchell, this big pull-up three. This blew the roof off of the place here. You see the emotion on his face. And then underneath, Monroe coming off the baseline, sending that ball straight to the moon. But this is the story at the end. Triples by the Rams. Hagopian gets the kick from Duffy, smooth as silk. And then one more time, easy peasy from the NBA line. And that's what gets us to where we are now, 34-34.
So we have about 3.5 minutes before the start of the second half. Let's take a look at some men's hockey highlights as the Beacons will host the 54th annual Codfish Bowl tournament starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. when they host Tufts University.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside to the Clark Athletic Center on the campus of UMass Boston. 20 more minutes remain. Although the way these two have been playing, there may be a little more. The Rams and the Beacons.
Well, remember back to our pregame, Suffolk and UMass Boston have played 5 overtime games, which is tied for the most ever played by the Beacons and another opponent. The other two conference opponents. So these two teams haven't played each other all that many times, but a lot of those contests have been extremely tight.
You know, again, as you said, 5 stops on the tee separate these two schools. The Rams now going left to right across your screen. The Beacons right to left. Hagopian drops it to Molson. Long three by DePrizio. Short rim. The big man bit out of his game. Oh, and that was a poor situation there. Sanchez would have got called for the double dribble. So a turnover.
And in that situation, the Beacons fortunate because Charlie Mitchell went to the floor, nearly went the other way, 2-on-1. Almost want to give up that turnover. At least you can set your defense rather than giving up a potential fast break layup.
Rams take the lead on a DePrizio bunny. So now both Mitchell brothers out there. Oh, no, excuse me. No, that's just Charlie out there right now. Here's Michael Boyd. Boyd steps back with the left hand. Sinelli, power dribble, up and in. Dason Sinelli, count that bucket. Foul on DePrizio. That's his second. A chance for the Beacons to snatch the lead right back here on the free throw.
Well, the Beacons, I wondered where they were going to get that high energy, that rebounding, the strong offense down low today without Javaris Hill, because those are all the things that he brings. Today it's been a little bit of Sinelli, a little bit of Lorquette, a little bit of Monroe, but they desperately need that inside presence to balance out their perimeter offensive attack.
Now a bit of a press here. Grolakis stuck in a corner, flings it across one-handed to Hagopian. Hagopian draws contact, no foul, but he gets the bucket. Back to a 1-point lead.
Terrific finish by Hagopian. At one point, the ball was in the chest of Monroe, and he just had to kind of throw it up, not quite looking at the basket. Really nice finish.
Mitchell, Sanchez. Kicks over to Boyd. Sinelli for 3. That was a short shot, almost missed everything right there. Hagopian gets the rebound. On the skip across to Molson. Molson lets Mitchell fly by, draws Monroe, no one on the backside. And as Jason Harris was saying in the first at halftime, was talking about the importance of stopping the back door. And with that, we get to a timeout on the floor here. 18:04 to go here in half number 1. Suffolk 40, UMass Boston 37. We'll be right back on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
We're live and in living color here at the Clark Athletic Center. The beautiful blue court here at UMass Boston. The Beacons with possession. Boyd, up fake, leaves it for Mitchell. Oh, that's really short. Lorquette tried to fist it back in.
Back-to-back possessions where the Beacons have settled for a 3 from straight away with the player in the way, contesting it just a little bit, and also just been really short. The Beacons, I mean, they have capable three-point shooters. They haven't shot well this year, but it's It's a really bad sign to have those back-to-back possessions where you're not creating anything.
Those are just bad shots, too. I mean, you're not even getting a rebound opportunity. There's ball gets spun around. Molson, big three. He misses. Boyd's underneath. Charlie Mitchell collects. Boyd. These are for Charlie. Charlie and Charles, the Mitchell brothers out there. Charlie drives it. That's got to be a foul, and that's a basket. I believe that's a basket. We'll see here. Yes, count the basket. Foul on Hagopian. So it'll be one more for Mitchell. That's Hagopian's first, second on the Rams.
That is a cardinal sin from Hagopian. He tried to wrap him up, but he didn't kind of fully do it. It was more half-hearted. And by that point, Mitchell just powering through and making the basket. If you're going to foul in a situation like that when your player is going past you, you better make sure that he doesn't get that shot off. And that was a really poor decision by Hagopian, and it leads to the Beacons tying the game up.
Kind of a silly free throw right there. Touches all the rim and finally drops in. That's 4 inches and 40-pound difference between Hagopian and Mitchell. And there's a steal right there by Sinelli. Sinelli on Duffy, and we're going the other way.
Yeah, Sinelli's issue was he worked so hard to get there. He wanted to power it in. He wanted to get that basket. But
Duffy was just there.
Duffy knew that the player was going to come. If Sinelli passes that out to the three-point line, if Sinelli takes an extra dribble and tries to lay it up rather than power it down, Beacons probably have the lead.
Either way, we're squared at 40. We've had 2 ties, 2 lead changes here in the second half. Hagopian. Leaves it from Molson. DePrizio matching up with Lorquette. Skips it over to Gralakis. Gralakis gets the pick. Leaves it from Molson. 10 on the shot clock. DePrizio trying to back in. Oh, there's ball. Bounces off a few people. Michael Boyd picks it up. We're going to have out of bounds off Duffy as half his body was out of bounds when he touched the ball. So turnover on the Rams. Big possession here for the Beacons. They can take the lead.
And that was a great play by Boyd, who has that difficult role of trying to slow down Duffy, who it's time for the team lead, but it seems pretty clear to me that he is their offensive playmaker. And a great job of knocking that one into the backcourt. Even if he hadn't picked it up, there would have been 2 seconds on the shot clock. So a great job by the Beacons' leading scorer, also playing some good D.
Charlie Mitchell. Lorquette tries to spin, lay it up, and he goes right over DePrizio. DePrizio's the junior, but Lorquette playing like the 3-year veteran out there.
Malik Lorquette looks like a different player than he did that last week of first semester. His offensive game has been a little bit more precise. He's making strong moves, quick moves, and he's recognizing when he doesn't have a good look and giving the ball up. He's been a lot more consistent here today.
Big three missed by Molson. Boyd collects, leaves it for Charles Mitchell. Excuse me, that's Charlie. Charlie, what is that move? Misses everything, and he still almost gets the rebound out the back door. Here comes Hagopian. Oh, he had an open look. He's been money from 3. Steps up from a mid-range. Oh, and they call Lorquette really late. Looked like he got a piece of the ball, but they say he got a piece of the hand. So Hagopian will get to shoot a pair on the other side. 15:27 remain. It's nip, it's tuck. It's a whole lot of fun here at the Clark. Beacons 42, Rams 40. You're watching the Beacons Broadcast Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
And we're back inside the Clark Athletics Center. You see Jason Harris crouched down in the middle of that huddle. We'll take a look here. You see Sinelli. But here's the last play here. Let's see, Lorquette very close.
And let's take a look at it a second time, slow motion. I think he catches that left hand the non-shooting hand of Hagopian on the way through.
Yeah, I think he may get that offhand.
I don't think that it altered the actual shot. I mean, his hand being there altered the shot from Hagopian, but it was just the follow-through, and it gives Hagopian a chance to tie this game. So neither team has really been able to gain too much momentum here early on in half number 2.
First shot short rim, so the Beacons will maintain the lead here. Interesting, Jacoviti is the only Ram in there to help rebound. So it'll be 4 on 2.
The first miss at the free throw line from Suffolk. They're now 6 of 7. The Beacons at 4 of 6.
Here's Boyd. Over to Sanchez. Sanchez takes a lap. Sanchez for 3. Oh, right over Hagopian. Just pulls straight up on the big man. Back up to a 2-possession game, 4-point lead for the Beacons.
Just the Beacons' third made 3 of the game, and for Sanchez, just his third made field goal. He's up to 7.
Duffy tries to switch off of Boyd inside to DiPrizio. Gets around Lorquette, lays it right up and over Sinelli. They put the basket on the wrong side on the board. It's a 45-43. Put up on the wrong side of the board here in the building. Sinelli. Boyd draws Gralakis.